Closure. Written by Ryan and Fox.
The inevitable story. Where did it all go wrong? A lot of things happened that heralded at the end. The writing was on the wall for a very long time. Anything that we weren't to know about them until it was too late for us engines.
The workmen were giving Mike his final inspection. This gave Sir Handel a great deal of relief, as it meant he might soon be free of the fiery little red engine.
He's loud, he's rude, and he's completely disrespectful. Not to mention nosy at the best of times. Good riddance to the little wretch, that's what I say.
Actually, I've enjoyed his company. He shows respect to his elders and betters, and that's what counts in my view. And his nosiness is what some may call inquisitive nature, Sir Handel. It's been nice to recall the old days when he carved them to a new order.
Mike was soon pushed back into the siding again by Wendell the workskeeper, looking very pleased.
I'll be back later to take you home, Mike. He wants to stay a little while longer talking with all of you lot.
Oh, I can imagine he would, yes.
He's more than welcome, Wendell. Well, Mike, I expect you'll be looking forward to going home again.
It'll be nice to get back. But can I ask before I go, what happened to your old line? Why did it close?
Lots of reasons. The main one being that it wasn't useful anymore. Toward the end, no one needed us in the valley. A few years after Jim went, other engines were sold on, leaving Vulcan, Stewart and I to run the line. But even before then, times were hard.
A great number of changes took place in the years preceding closure. They were to form the decline that would bring the curtain down on the Mid-Sodor. The catalyst came in the form of a new power station built close to the Mid-Sodor's terminus at Peel Godred. Duke's Railway was too small to be able to be useful in its construction and maintenance, the result being that the Fat Controllers Railway built a new branch line to service it.
It would never suit his grace to see this. I can remember a time when we meant something to this ferry. Now look at us, relegated.
But Duke, we're simply too small. Our trucks wouldn't be able to hold the materials. And think of the narrow clearances.
And of course, the big long ones at the power station. But I'm sure the holiday makers and picnickers, they'd rather travel down our beautiful line, wouldn't they?
Indeed, and the locals still love our railway. This power station may loom over us, but we'll keep running.
The engines were confident that the little railway wouldn't close. To the valley's inhabitants, quarry workers, and most important, the engines themselves, the railway was an institution.
Our railway closed down? Not at our time.
The summer season brought extra passengers to ride on Duke's special picnic trains. But yet more mitigating factors were to provide hindrance to the Mid-Sodor's quest for survival, as Duke found out one day when he arrived at the port.
Why hasn't the boat arrived yet? It's never usually this late.
I'm afraid the boat won't be stopping here anymore. The Isle of Man Packet Company thinks we're unprofitable. They won't be bringing us passengers any longer.
Well, bust my boiler. His Grace wouldn't approve of this if he knew. Why?
That year, passenger numbers for the special trains for the summer season were modest at best. However, they were the only thing keeping the mountain road alive. and after the tourist season ended, trains on the section ran near empty. The manager knew there was only one solution.
The mountain road is simply not earning its way. We have far too much maintenance work to carry out to make it fit to run on, and to be frank, we just don't have the money anymore. We can't let a dead branch kill the tree.
I can understand your feelings, sir, but what of the holiday trains? The visitors thoroughly enjoy running over the mountain road.
It's not worth having a section of line that's only viable for a few months of the year. It's a luxury we can ill afford. We'll just have to manage as best we can without it. Concentrate our efforts onto other areas of the line.
You're not the same engine you once were, Grandpuff. You'd struggle soon enough on the mountain road. We can't have that.
I'm as strong as I ever was. A young Stuart can vouch for that, can't you?
Stuart remained respectful and silent. He knew exactly what Grandpuff was talking about.
There's still plenty for us to do besides. The fatty still needs a railway, and the mines still appreciate our efforts. The mountain road will be no great loss. Although I will miss our friends who came off the boat.
That's the spirit, Duke. Well done. You'll all manage splendidly and make us all so very proud.
The valiant efforts of the 3 engines kept the line going through hard times, but the steady decline continued regardless. Goods trains became emptier, and even the horse and cart was scheduled less and less. But no matter what, the Duke continued to keep the faith.
You forget, young'uns, we're in the grip of winter. Come summer, the holiday makers will come back. Those who can, anyway. As long as we keep running and doing our best, we shan't close. I hope not.
Things aren't as happy as they were when I came though. And one mine is already closed. Driver said there's simply no slate for it to gather anymore.
The world moves on, but shall we close? We have other mines, and the villagers still travel with us.
Not
in our time.
The bitter winter passed and spring returned, bringing its promises of renewal and warmth to the valley and the railway. However, these were false promises, as discovered when the management took further steps to keep its head above water.
Why are we all gathered here today?
Something's up. I don't like this at all.
The 3 other engines of the mine, Jerry, Tim and the mine engine, had all been brought down to Arsdale sheds and stood on separate sidings alongside Duke. Nearby stood a crowd of men, some smartly dressed and others in workmen's uniforms, and they were looking over the engines keenly.
You tell us. We were told down here by Duke. I know poor old Miney's tired, but she can still weave her way round to the shafts, unlike us.
Maybe we're closing down. Maybe we're all going. What if this is it, boys and girls? We're doomed.
Oh, shut your mouth, child.
That's not a pleasant way to deal with the worry. It might be true, you know. We've seen passengers and slate become less and less on the main line, you know.
But when this crazy coot's been fretting since day one, my axle'll feel wobbly, or my trucks are gonna crash me too, or we're going to close down constantly. It drives you mad. I tell you this now.
Someone say something. The tension is making my axle boxes rattle to the breaking point.
You see?
If they got rid of one of us, it wouldn't surprise me now. The mines are putting out less and less. That's why your goods trains are becoming lighter, Falcon.
I see.
This engineer needs new axle boxes and cylinders reboring, but otherwise he could be reused.
That Campbell's engine would suit our factory very well.
In the end, it was decided that Tim, Jerry and the mine engine would be sold off, leaving myself with the 2 young'uns to run a remnants of the line and handle the mines as seen fit. It was a sorrowful day.
Smooth running and good luck. Thank you, Duke, for everything. Nice knowing you two.
We're doomed. I don't want to leave my lovely valley.
Finally, I might get some peace and quiet while I work. Well, Duke, my boy, I'll be seeing you around. Looks like it's on your saddle to keep this pretty line going. Don't leave the other 2 too far astray, will you?
I certainly won't. You take care, Miney. All of you, take care.
From there on, the decline was more visible for all to see. Track repairs were at best rough, and at worst unattended. There were a number of occasions in where trucks derailed on their way down to the port, and time was lost rerailing them in the middle of the train. Falcon was to find worse.
Stewart! I say! Stewart! Are those my coaches? They're on the wrong tracks.
No, Falcon. These four-wheelers are yours.
What? You'd better not be playing tricks on me.
Falcon, express coaches, they're being sold now.
Not my beautiful express coaches. The pride of the line. Oh.
Manager said so. He said we couldn't afford to keep them. That we need to sell. Or we'd close down.
The coaches for the picnic are under tarpaulins as well, young Falcon. The manager is doing all he can to get the line viable. The dead branches have to be pruned to keep the tree flourishing. And as long as we keep steam and stay reliable, we should be able to weather the bad times.
But we still have traffic. And as long as we keep up the services, surely we can weather the bad times. Surely we'll sell developments and an improvement. Surely we won't close down for good. Not in our time.
And so it became the motto of the Free Timeline Engines. Up and down the valley, they would pull their little trains of four-wheel coaches or slate wagons dutifully, in a great effort to keep the line running. Not long after, the mines were expanded and pushed to their utmost limits for the war effort.
We haven't shifted this much lead for years. Anyone would think the line was viable again.
We need to do our bit to help out, even if that means exhausting the mines. I'm sure His Grace would approve. What I didn't realise at the time, of course, was that His Grace, sadly, had been killed in the fighting of the war, and his son did not even know about me. Strangely enough, it was the hair who was to become the catalyst in a series of events many years later.
It's just a question of what happens when they are exhausted. What become of us then?
Duke dreaded to think. The mines deteriorated further, and eventually they moved Stanley up there to work as a pumping engine. He was on his last legs by the time Falcon had delivered him.
Tell me honestly then, Stanley. Do you really think you'll be able to keep this up?
I can still manage, but thank you.
You'd fool me, but I hope you can.
There were great hopes for the line when the war ended. The engines believed that the line would be reinvigorated with passengers abandoning the buses, and plenty of goods traffic to keep them going for a while longer. But the autumnal season that the war had brought had been succeeded by a winter of discontent.
The passenger service has been discontinued. The buses have been able to provide a far better service, and it would be futile to compete.
But sir, surely we must...
We shall be carrying on as a mineral tramway.
That won't do much good. The mines are all closing down. They were pushed to the limits during the war.
I stand by that, Falcon. We did our bit to help the war effort, and it paid off. But perhaps you're right. It was at our own expense.
Perhaps in our time.
The crews and engine men loved their engines, and maintained them as best they could. But now the valley echoed with the mournful whistle of the little engines rarely, when they were moving goods trains from the exhausted mines to the port, and the empties back to the yards and lands. One by one they all closed down, until only one was left, the mine where Stanley had been installed as a pumping engine. One miserable winter morning, Duke was put into service to go and make the run from Casnian to the port.
Cousin Horn! Oh, where are my trucks, please? What's going on? Why are all the miners standing about?
The pumping engine broke down. The mine's flooded beyond rescue. The engine itself is submerged into 3 feet of water. There wasn't much lead left. Another 6 months, I'm sorry to say. We've been on our job. Now in this hard winter, it's worse.
So, that's it. Curse you, Stanley. You managed to bring the whole railway down, as I once said you might. You blasted steam engine!
Oh, come on. They never bothered to mend or maintain him after they put him at the back of the shed. It's not entirely his fault, you know.
Still, from what I know, it's not surprising. badly built and all.
The writing is on the wall. Our time has come.
With no further reason to exist, the railway closed. Stations were stripped down, rolling stock was sold or scrapped on site, and the shed was decrepitated. The engines too were put up for sale.
They decided they're taking Stewart and Falcon to work on the Aluminum Works project. Unfortunately, Duke never made a sale.
Well, what do you propose, sir? Surely you can't scrap him?
After so many years of faithful and reliable service, I wouldn't dream of it. There's still hope for Duke. Clean, grease and sheet him, he can stay in the shed. I'm confident he'll find a buyer at some point.
Thank you, sir. We'll keep the faith.
Cheer up, Grandpa. There'll be plenty for us all to do. They'll see sense, and they'll come back for you too at some point.
Duke was oiled and greased one last time, and then tucked quietly away. The shed doors closed, and the curtain had finally fallen on the Mid Sodor Railway's working life.
Our line's loss has been a massive gain to our new home. They were right. There was still hope, and they did come back for me. The memory was kept alive, and over time the seas were sown, culminating in an expedition led by the thin and small controllers with the help of two clergymen, one of whom, quite serendipitously, found me when he fell through the roof.
I remember that. He could hardly walk by the time it was time to go home.
Everyone laughed, but all too soon it was over. An hour later, Douglas drew up to take Mike home.
Right, time to take you home again then, Mike. Douglas is going to take you with his goods train.
Aye, I'll get the wee beastie back to his lair. Plenty on little engines can handle him.
Oh no, Douglas. Mike here has been a pleasure to talk to and tell the tales of our railway tour.
Aye, I recall them, and when we got you at yon shed. So the spirit of the wee old line will live on there, now the wee engines though. Ta-ra!
Goodbye, and good evening, Douglas.
See you later, Douglas. Goodbye, Mike. It's very informative.
See yous, everyone. It's been nice seeing you again, Jupe. And Sir Handel, nice meeting you. You've been an alright sparring partner. Toodles.
What did he say?
I think that was his way of saying he likes you, youngster.
What a strange little engine.